But now I want to talk about potential negative things. First of all, there are 5 things I want to talk about. Firstly, it's not so sharp. I'll admit that. Either the main blade and the secondary blade. I think a lot of knives come from the factory. When you buy them, they aren't very sharp. So that's not a major issue. You can sharpen that yourself. There's a bit of a burr at some points. Not a major issue, but I don't want people to think, wow, that isn't razor sharp. So that's the first point. There's a rough angle grinded section on the handle, and I'll get up close. But you can see how the handle looks rough. It's been angle grinded both on the top and the bottom, and I know why. The person in the factory tried to attach the handle, put the handle on, not smooth, take the handle off, angle grind it. Put the handle back in, still not smooth, more angle grinding. Then they put the handle on, that's close enough. So it's been angle grinded down to match the profile of the wooden handle. That's why it looks a bit rough on top. For me, it doesn't affect the knife and it doesn't worry me at all. It's really just an appearance thing. So that looks a bit ugly, but it's no problems at all for the knife. The sheath, I'll admit, is crap. It's just a cheap plastic sheath. It goes in, it locks. You can see how it practically slips out. It should sit there, but it slides in. It still works, but it is a crap, cheap plastic sheath. I'll admit that. You can get sheaths, you can make your own nice leather sheaths and so forth. So I don't want someone to see the sheath and say, well, that's garbage, because it is garbage. So that's one negative. Again, it doesn't affect the knife. The knife's there, it's fine, it's bomb-proof, it'll survive a nuclear war. The fourth negative thing is the clip point. I talked about it in the previous video. People will argue it's weaker, and it is potentially weaker than a drop point or a spear point. It can bend, break potentially. For me, I'm not worried about that. If you don't do anything stupid, it should be okay. I had a clip point that actually bent a bit. I'm not too sure how I bent it. I used a hammer to knock it straight and it was fine. So as long as you don't do anything stupid to the clip point, it should be fine. But I agree, that's a debatable issue about a clip point being weaker. Some people hate it, think it's crap. I'm not going to say it's crap, but okay, potentially it is weaker. As long as you don't do a Grandpa Simpson to your knife, you're fine. An episode of The Simpsons where he throws down toy soldiers on the ground and says, look at the crap they make these days. The minute you step on those toy soldiers, they break. Now, you don't do Grandpa Simpsons with your knife. That's why I don't really like knife reviews on YouTube where they're testing out knives, batoning, chopping. Oh, look, the handle broke off because I pounded it through a piece of wood with another piece of wood. That's rubbish. You don't do Grandpa Simpsons on your knife. As long as you don't do anything stupid, the clip point should be fine. I think it's really handy to be able to drill holes in things, and I do it when I make char cloth in a bamboo container. I drill a small hole. So there's one definite proven use for a sharp point. Then the steel. I've got no paperwork with this knife. I'll try and do some research on the internet to see from the manufacturer the details, but I've got no paperwork. I just brought it from a seller. I'm pretty sure it's high carbon steel. I don't know what type, I'll be honest with you. I mentioned in the previous video that I actually prefer stainless steel, but there's nothing wrong with high carbon steel as long as you maintain it, keep it clean, keep it dry, keep it oiled and so forth. So I don't know exactly the type of steel. 1095, I think it's 1095 high carbon steel. Not 100% guaranteed sure. I don't want someone to buy this knife, some expert, and say, oh, that's not, what I said it was. So that steel is a modern steel. It matches anything out there. I'm confident it's high carbon steel. I'm not 100% sure what type. So they were the 5 main sort of negative points I wanted to mention about this knife. They're not deal breakers, but I just want you to be aware of those points. Okay, so that's my new bushcraft knife. Any questions or comments, let me know. I may have forgotten something talking to a camera. You tend to forget things and get nervous and so forth. So there you are. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate views, comments. I love your videos. I'm watching as many videos as I can on YouTube. My subscribers, people I subscribe to. So keep up the great work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.